Good morning, Service Alliance community. What's up? This is Miss Ward, and of course, EJ. We're getting ready to rock it out with y'all today. Happy Friday, freestyle.
Hey everybody, EJ here. Good job, Miss Ward. I uh
Oh,
I wasn't feeling the energy and I was like, you know what? Why don't you do it? It's fun. Let's just change it up. Change the whole thing up. TK's not with us today. Everything's fine. He just had some stuff come up and needed a little break and we're gonna keep it rocking. Freestyle Friday. Good morning, Adam. He is the only person watching us today. Oh, two people now. Good morning, Joe.
what up,
What's
Joe?
going on? Adam,
What up, Adam?
how's your new guy working out? Did he start yet? Uh, Let us know. See what's going on. I had a new person start on Tuesday. Hired a part-time part installer. So he's doing ride-alongs right now. Doing pretty good. Gonna get his hands dirty today. Start using the tools. Get it going. Starts on Monday. All right, Adam. Good deal.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So we need both of you viewers right now to get busy. We gotta drop your questions in the chat, comments, whatever. Freestyle Friday is about you. We got a topic that we'll talk about, but if you want to talk about what you want to talk about, that's what we talk about. Let's talk about
Exactly.
it. All right. So what's been going on with you, Miss Ward?
Well, I just been traveling the globe doing what I do. You know, the thing I love about appliance repair, I swear, at least once a week you learn what you don't know. And that's what I love is the ability to grow and change on a daily, actually, basis about as far as your skill set. So I had the pleasure earlier this week working on R600. And I just love how people are just so intimidated by what they don't know and understand when it's really not that serious.
Yeah.
Get the proper tools. You have to do the work to be confident. I'm just one of those people that if you don't know how systems work and you shy away from what you don't know because of what you heard, you're never going to be successful and you're never going to reach your full potential. So, as always, found another reason to love appliance repair. Keeps me on my toes.
Absolutely. My my favorite part is seeing different things like that, but also meeting different people. I like to say all the time, uh, two of my favorite things to do is help people and fix things. I found a career that I get paid to do both, and I love it. So let's start with a prayer. We got one question. If you want to ask your questions today, drop it in the comments on the live chat on YouTube. And I think you can even do it on the LinkedIn version as well. So let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. Miss Ward, you want to do the prayer?
Sure. Lord, thank you for allowing us to not only open our eyes this morning, but to breathe again, to have an opportunity to get out here and not only do what we want to do, but what you put us here to do, to find our purpose and follow it with passion and with vigor. Lord, thank you for covering our families and our extended family through blood or just through relationship. Lord, order our steps today, that every step we take will be certain and sure, and give us the confidence to go out into the world and not only represent us, but of course, represent you. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Adam. Adam has no problems with R600. How about that?
Awesome.
Uh, Good job, Adam. Paul, one of my favorite things. by far is when I get to hang out with the older ladies and gentlemen that 70, 80, 90 plus. Not only do they have a lot of wisdom, but you can tell it makes them genuinely happy. I I agree with that. Heck, you know, I like to just ask questions and let them talk. As I don't believe I have any grandparents left. Uh, I got one grandma, which is kind of distant, but having the elderly wisdom, I don't really have that anymore. So I like that too. And you know they seem to.
I'm sure he'll be back.
I got a phone call. Uh, they seem to be intimidated by the process of bringing somebody in their house, and making them feel comfortable does make them happy. I love that.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, and they get lonely. Sometimes it's hard to get out of their houses. Uh, so our question, our first question today, coming from Joe, Mrs. Ward.
Oh
I
yeah.
think he made Miss Ward. Do you ever go on callbacks, and how
Absolutely.
do you handle it if you do? She's
Absolutely.
perfect. There's no recalls ever.
Man, please. Really? Yeah, I do go on backs. And because I'm so stubborn and driven, I have to sometimes understand that it's something I may not be able to fix. So there are two things. There's the ones that you go back and you learn and you realize that, okay, did I have a thought before I left that I could have an issue? That's my number one thing. So it's already nagging me before I go back. And if I do have a call back, whatever I didn't prepare the first time, I get ultra prepared. Like, for instance, you'll go, I was talking to someone about the Samsung dryer and reading the schematics and testing issues from the board. How do you test the centrifugal switch from the board on a dryer? So the schematic shows you a lot of video. There are a couple of videos actually that show you too. So the key is all this, I just go back and I handle it. I don't hold the customer accountable. I make sure it's a priority. But if I'm having to go back more than two times or whatever, look, that's out of my realm, and I own it and move on. And I transfer it to someone who can handle it or who's more exposed or whatever. And then I learn from the experience. But I think that whenever you have a callback, you need to first take responsibility and look at it. It's an opportunity to learn, number one. And as time goes on, you're going to have less of them, but that's just part of maturity as a technician and a business owner. This is a fact of life. And you always want to look at those percentages because when you first get started, you get frustrated because you have so many, but you don't understand you're a baby in the woods. Like you don't even know what the hell you're doing. That's why people, when you hear TK say, I don't think certain people should even be in a truck. I hate to say it, but he's actually right. Because a lot of people think that you can go out and do an appliance repair off for pattern recognition and hit home runs. No, you can't. You gotta
Yeah,
understand schematics. You gotta understand how systems work. Just like with R600, you have to understand that sometimes it starts in a vacuum, and people get thrown off because they're so used to dealing with R134. But there's just you have to be
yeah,
exposed, and you have to give yourself grace. That's basically how I handle it. I welcome it at the same time. Some things I know could be great before I leave, so I have that conversation with a customer because that's just not only being human, that's also protecting your brand and your business. You know, that's
yeah,
how I heard it.
yeah. That's that pre-trip diagnosis is big. Uh, there's no rule that says you can't call the customer and get extra information. And the ones that are really winning do that. When I'm at my best and I have time, I'll take an hour or two in the office and I'll just call random customers as I'm looking at the calls for the next few days. And we've been able to successfully pre-order parts to bring with us. And I'm telling you, we sell jobs that we probably would have struggled to sell if we had to come back with a part. It's so much easier when you got me going now. Uh, we're not in the appliance repair business or whatever service you are. That's not the business you're in. My job when I go to a customer's home is not to fix their appliance. Sometimes it becomes that. My job is to solve their problem. They have a problem and they call us and we come out and we solve it. Sometimes that means we don't fix their appliance. Sometimes it means we recommend them to buy one or to use somebody else. Whatever it is, uh, we fix their problem. And I was talking to one of the customers. They got me going on this last night. Uh, Sometimes the problem is not their ice maker ain't working. The problem is they've got people coming over tomorrow and they don't have ice. And the frantic state of them is, I don't want my people to know that my ice maker don't work, right? And maybe I don't have that ice maker on me. Well, I can give them the cheat code. Put the ice in the bucket and nobody will know the difference. I solved the problem
Hmm.
temporarily so I can have time without pressure to come back with the part. And that's one of them things we do. Oh, shit,
Exactly.
we got some people
That,
coming in today.
yeah, that one stop completion is the key. That's why when we are gathering information, I have my system set up in such a way that the customer sends pictures and image of the model number, provides detailed information, and even provides videos. Like they'll say it won't start. Well, what's up? So, um, they'll provide all the information we need, like we're there. You follow me? And
Yeah,
then if we,
absolutely.
and a lot of times we do that through all modern technology, apps, things of that nature. That way we can go in with all the parts we need to resolve it while we're there and things of that nature.
Absolutely. Uh, I had a thought while you was talking earlier too. Uh, you mentioned pattern recognition,
Hmm.
and we talked about this a little bit with where I had the new guy come in. I was kind of talking about some stuff, and pattern recognition came up. And some people, that's a dirty word. And I'll tell you, there is a way to use pattern recognition properly. And the dirty word part of it is when you just go in like a cowboy with your pattern recognition skills and just change parts, uh, because it's always this. Uh, Pattern recognition is supposed to be a tool that you use to get you in the area. Hey, I know it's a Frigidaire side by side fridge and it's freezing stuff on the top shelf. I'm not just going to blindly replace the air damper, but I know where to go to start my testing. And and you always have to confirm the problem before you go. Some people just walk in and say it's a sealed system. Uh, maybe, maybe not. Uh, you know, some people are selling jobs that they don't need to be, and that causes recalls because you're not checking it out. You're overselling stuff, selling people something they don't need because you're guessing. And I got a guy, there's a guy in my town that kind of brought me up, a mentor. He is awesome at this stuff. Been doing it 40 plus years in a family business. He's got the old school pattern recognition down, but he tests the repair before he does it. He brings the parts with him because of the pattern recognition. He knows what to have, knows where to start. That's how it happens. So we haven't had any more questions yet. I'm going to turn Miss Ward loose on you guys. Uh, she has a topic to discuss, and we're going to turn her loose. And if you have any questions or comments on that, feel free.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to talk about today is just the not sexy part of the appliance repair business, the stuff that you get in hot water about. We all like working on the appliances. We all like driving to the jobs, working with customers, discovering this, but who likes to do the back end? Who likes to stay on top of the returns? Who likes to stay on top of the accounts? I mean, you got to realize a business is a business. And the things I struggle with is I get so passionate about the repairs and more customers that my back end struggles. Luckily I have business partners and on the vendor side that have so much grace with me. Shout out to Saul at Marcone.
Shout out.
And he has taught me so much about organizing my returns and organizing my business on the back end and having great relationships with the people who look out for you. So I always tell people develop a great relationship with your parts rep. I'm a big Marcone fan. I have other people I do business with, but Marcone I champion because when I was little Miss Ward working in little South Florida, these guys helped me grow my business, and I couldn't have done it without that relationship. I have the kind of rep that reaches out and he'll see me shooting parts all over the world and he'd be like, well, Miss Ward, I could preload those addresses for you. Now my hard-headed butt still hasn't let him do that. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm bothering him, sending him a list, but he offered that to me, and that will streamline my logistic process when I don't have to put in additional addresses. I got certain places I'm shipping in Georgia or Florida or Alabama. And, at the end of the day, develop those relationships. Not to mention, he keeps me up to date on everything that shows up at Marcone, how Marcone is covering HVAC, plumbing, commercial kitchen stuff. They've
Mhm.
added, Samsung, where you can actually get in and put the part number in. And the thing that people don't understand is you need to watch the big boys. Marcone is what I consider a big boy. I watch how they move, and that tells me how to move in the industry. When I see them get in certain areas or move a certain way, people tell me all the time, I can't find the parts X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you better hit Marcone. Because you'll notice I deal with other vendors. I'm not going to really say their names because they don't support me like Marcone does. But I'll check their stuff and they don't have it. And Marcone, they don't have it. They might, I mean, they might not have it in Florida, but they may have it in, uh,
Kentucky,
yeah, Louisville. Yeah, that big location.
Louisville.
And I've even had stuff come from Washington, which I thought was interesting. Like I didn't even know they had, the state of Washington. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you need to watch the people you develop relationships with because as they grow, you grow. As their reach extends, your reach extends. And that's what I mean about the part of the business.
Yeah.
People over here, they looking like this in the front of their face and they don't understand. You need to develop relationships with people who are expansive so you don't limit your business. So you need to stay on top of the returns, have a daily, like with me, I try to do it 2 times a week if I have to, you know, and I try to keep my stock and everything organized because I am mobile. And because I'm so mobile, and I'm not mobile around the block 30 miles away, I'm mobile state to state. So I'm dealing with seal systems, I'm dealing with high end, I'm dealing with things where my sales depend on my ability for quick turnaround and pre diagnosis and being able to have those parts drop ship. So when I hit that area, I'm already there. That goes back to a logistic situation, but it also can be a logistic nightmare.
Yeah,
So
it
that's where your back end management is so important. That's all I got for you.
is. No, that's good stuff. And I'll tell you, that's the kind of stuff I've been working on for the last 6 months. I moved five-star Mike into the office as service manager. It's kind of office manager and service manager because we're that size still. but he orders the parts and he does the returns. That was a big problem for us. We would order stuff, and if it was the wrong thing came in, we'd just throw it on the shelf. And when we started doing our inventory, I realized I got a few $1,000s worth of stuff that I ain't going to be using. And when I did the math and said I can pay him to be in the office to do these things that I don't have time to do, I don't like to do, I don't remember to do, uh, it automates that process to a degree for me to know that somebody's watching it as their job. And when we get the wrong part or we order the wrong part or it's broken, whatever, we can send it back. And the people that we do business with are good about that. Marcone being one of them, and our new partner, Union. Uh, we're loving Union right now. The prices are great. Some of the stuff's aftermarket, but even their OEM prices are awesome if you get in with the Service Alliance Group discounts. And the customer service is right up there with what I get out of Saul. He's number one too. Saul is not even my rep, but he'll call me. He called me and told me about that. Uh, stuff he was telling you about. Hey, you know you could do that? Like, yeah, I didn't. Thank you, man. Thank you. So shout out to Saul and at Marcone. Shout out to Alex at Union. Um, you got to make those relationships with people that help you do business the way you need to do business. Uh, so inventory is one of the things that we've been focusing on. And while we're shouting out, uh, I've been using the Encompass Easy Stock app for my inventory. I was doing inventory on a Google spreadsheet, and then I was looking at going to Sortly, and Sortly's got kind of a decent cost to it, right? It costs a little bit. It's still reasonable and worthwhile, and it does all the stuff. But then I heard about Easy Stock right at the right time as I was getting ready to upload all this stuff. And it's a free app. It has the scanning capabilities from your phone. You don't need to have an outside scanner. Uh, it's made specifically for appliance repair. So you can look up parts. You can put in a part number and it already has a picture and a description and a price for that part. But Sortly, you'd have to take all the pictures and enter in all the information
Hmm.
and pay. Uh, One cool feature I've seen that we haven't used yet with the Easy Stock app is if you don't have it and Encompass don't have it, there's a third option, a nearby truck. So everybody's inventory that's in there, if you select the option, somebody else can see what you have. Now, somebody, oh my gosh, uh, you can select not to, and it doesn't mean that they get your parts. They have to request it. But I can see if somebody, one of my friends in the industry across town has it, I could reach out and say, hey, man, mind if I borrow that or buy it off of you, return, trade you out?
Be back in a
Some
minute.
of them hard to find again. I'm back. So there's the plug to our three favorite appliance parts vendors at the
Yeah,
moment. But
yeah.
what are you doing for inventory, Miss Ward?
Well, I use Excel spreadsheets because I don't carry a lot of inventory. My whole thing is to keep my stuff light. But so that's what
Yeah.
I'm using. That's why I have to do this stuff twice a week because I got to keep everything low. And I learned that lesson because there's something else I wanted to touch on. And anybody in appliance repair has gone through this. When I first started, I was misdiagnosing everything. I accumulated all these parts. I ran out of time to return them. Like all my stuff was disorganized. I'm managing subs. I got so much going on. So I accumulated a lot of parts. So what I did, that's what I want to talk about is what do you do with these parts that you can't return and things of that nature. So there's two things I do. I do either eBay or I do Amazon. Because I'm an Amazon FBA affiliate, most people don't know that Amazon sells used parts just like eBay. And the thing
Mm.
about Amazon is that when I ship all my stuff through Amazon, I actually ship it directly to them and they store the parts. So now what I'm doing is I'm eliminating space in warehousing. So I ship all those
Mm.
old parts over to Amazon, they stock them and then they sell them through Prime next day, and they're responsible. That's the part about Amazon FBA that a lot of people, if you've been exposed to it, you understand it. If not, it's something to look into. Yeah, they take a
Man.
cut, but I rather be getting rid of that inventory and having it out of my space and knowing that someone can click a link on Amazon and buy it and the money comes to me
Yeah.
regardless of how small it is. Because I mean, you already lost money when you misdiagnosed or you paid for the part and not able to return. You got a 20% restock, whatever it is. And I think it's a lot of people sitting on some dusty ass parts out here and don't know what to do with them. They don't want to go through the eBay thing or the picture, the distance, the whole process. That's what I'm telling y'all. This is what I'm talking about with relationships. I've been able to send all my stuff to Amazon and they sell used parts.
Yeah. Uh, I'm actually in the middle of setting up an eBay system with my kid. I got a 16-year-old that's wanting some extra money on a flexible schedule, and I'm not running a charity here. So I said, look, I got all these parts. You post them, list them, and reply and ship them out, and you can have 30% of it. Because I'd rather have, and they take this same analogy for the Amazon or the eBay thought, anyways. That somebody's going to take a cut, but you can have 100% of the profit and do 100% of the work, or you can have 70% of the profit and do 0 or 10% of the work. I'll take the free money uh, over anything. So that's the kind of stuff, you're talking about the admin stuff. Uh, there's things that your time is more valuable doing. I always get careful when I say this because it's not like, hey, I'm too good for this, or you're beneath me, so you do that. Uh, we all have skills and talents and everything, and the right people doing the right jobs matters, right? When I've moved Mike into the office from the field, it was a much better fit for everybody. He was a really good tech, but he's an even better manager. And for him to be in a spot where he influences so many people in my business, uh, and a direct customer rep for our customers' issues, it makes sense. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not good at those things. I can do them, and I mean I'm kind of good at it too, but I don't like it, and I can get lazy on it and forget. Like I have warranty submissions. I haven't turned that over to him yet. I had just submitted $4,000 of invoices to a warranty company uh, last week. That was like some of them were from February. Like I've just got four grand just sitting out there, already approved. Hey,
We all been there.
I ain't got time to collect my money. And I'm like, what am I doing? This ain't
Give
this
it
ain't how
to him,
this
man.
works.
Give it to him. He can handle it.
uh, Bob, what's going on, brother? It's up early for him. He's over in Colorado. Not just Colorado, but like the far west side of Colorado. The sun ain't even up yet over there, I don't think. You have time to list and sell parts online after fixing appliances all week? No, I don't. That's that's why I'm using my son. That's the
Yeah.
point. Paul giving me a hard time here. He knows I'm a House Call Pro fanboy. He said if I step back from House Call, you may need to use less workarounds and figuring out to get it to work for you. But maybe field service like Walkabout that has everything integrated. Not as pretty as House Call, but made for the industry. And I can appreciate that, man. That's good advice. I'll tell you, I know Miss Ward is a workies
Yep.
fangirl, and we get into our systems and we get comfortable. And I'll tell you, from what I've seen in the last 2 months, there was updates in House Call Pro that I didn't know happened. And with a 1 hour phone call with a rep, I am blown away. Like I've been for the last month removing our workarounds and streamlining. Like there's listen, they have a customer intake flow now that you can customize. That when you answer the phone, you go through step by step, and there's drop downs and questions. So like if you ask, do you own or rent the house? Oh, you rent, and then it reminds you to say, well, we need to check with the landlord. And if you are the landlord, hey, we need a pre-approved amount and a card on file. And you remember everything that you're supposed to say because it pops up according to the answer you click on. My next step is going to be adding in pre-diagnosis questions with drop downs that I can customize. You can call that a workaround if you want, but nobody's giving you a free pre-diagnosis question flow chart that I've seen. Now, Master Samurai, I've seen one for the refrigerator repair, no cool, and it's a really cool flow chart, but one that a CSR could use to just ask the questions that they don't have any idea what they're talking about, but they ask the right questions. I, you're going to have a hard time talking me out of house call now, Paul. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was kind of considering it, but that's where I'm at. Oh,
Yeah, I love Workies because it just stays up to date with everything from templates to, it's like, how we get these things, and just like how you had the call with the rep, it's really about fleshing it out. What's the, what, what was that question from Kirk's? Glad to see I'm not the only one not getting billing done.
yeah,
What is
Dan.
the exit?
Dan said he can relate. He's not getting the stuff done either. Kirk's, great question. Great question. And there's so many different ways to answer this question. What's the exit plan for retirement for both of you? I want to say before we get going, I'm gonna let you answer first. Dean Landers has a training that he did at ASTI, and it's very similar to this topic. It really touches on it. There's like 5 or 6 different paths that he has identified, and they all have different strategies and different things on how you get out. And all of them are fine, but your plan should be tailored for you.
Exactly.
And what is your plan, Miss Wood?
Yeah, well, when I started the business, any business I start with the end in mind. So I always have made it very clear my business is a boutique business. And because I use my appliance repair business to invest in my other cash flowing assets, because appliance repair has the largest ROI. This is why hedge funds and all these people are buying up service businesses. So while you can get it, you need to get it and make it. So my exit strategy is going to be, I'm just gonna go into, I'm gonna continue to gather government contracts. I'm gonna come out of the residential side. And after that, I'm going to continue to throw things in my retirement options. That's just my strategy. I don't really extend, I didn't start my business to have a family legacy because, all the children that I raised and all this good stuff, they have their own trajectories in life. Appliance repair is not one of them, you know, because they were raised
Hmm.
to be out the womb, basically to be CEOs. So I don't have that legacy. That was not what this was about. For me, it was about a vehicle that I could make out of, enough money to put in these other cash flowing assets on a monthly basis. And while appliance repair is still lucrative and the small guy can get in and make what they need to make, it's like anything else, it's about leveling up. So your whole goal is to make money to put it in the cash flowing assets that don't require as much hands on, but you still have to monitor them. So, I tell people all the time, I'm probably never going to retire because if I stop grinding, I think I'm going to die because I'm just built that way. You know what I mean? Even in retirement, it's never going to look like nothing I do ever looks like what anybody else does. You know what I mean? So that's nothing new. So, but my goal is just to continue to elevate the company, continue to get more government contracts, and then to move into more of a I don't want to say consultation role, consultant role, but something along those lines, but not really in the way that people think. I don't really share a lot of my stuff because so much that I do goes over people's heads. And I learned that when I first got in the industry, I kind of caught it some backlash because I didn't think and move like everybody else. But it seems to work for me and the people that I coach, it works for. So my exit strategy is just to use my business and grow and allow it to morph into something else, preferably internationally. But that's all I got.
She's always blowing people's minds. When I think that I'm thinking outside the box, and then I hear something from you, I'm like, yeah, I'm just like everybody else. Uh, but I'm the best me that there is. So I love me. Um, Not in a conceited way. Chill out. My retire. This is my retirement, and my appliance repair business has become my retirement plan. I've put everything into it. It's not smart, but it's what I did. Everything I do revolves around this and my family, and it's for my family. It's with my family. Uh, I am using the things I love that I talked about earlier, helping people and fixing things and getting paid for it to provide for my family. And my goal would be in the next 10 years, be able to step away from the daily grind of this and do the things that I love without worry of money. So that when I go into retirement, I don't want to go into retirement and sit on a couch and watch Netflix and chill. Um, Not full time, but uh, I want to be able to help veterans and recovering addicts, alcoholics, felons transition into regular life and be productive, find meaningful careers, and be able to do the things that they need to do. The problem for me right now on that is a lot of those people can't afford to pay for those services. And I'd like to be able to do it at an affordable rate just because I love it. So to answer the question, I would like to either sell at a good rate to one of my kids and be a part owner, like a minority silent partner owner, cash and checks for a living, or sell outright to one of my team members, somebody that's going to carry on the brand the way it is. But kind of like you, I'm not thinking about doing this for my kids to give to them or to sell it to them real cheap. Uh, I think they can do much better than me. And I'm not downplaying appliance repair, right? It's great. But I see things in these kids that they could be great in their passion. They didn't sign up to be appliance repair business owners. They have their own dreams and their own heart. I want to create little entrepreneurs out of them and do their own things and help them through that. All right, let's roll on. Uh,
Hey, EJ, you need to make sure you look at starting your nonprofit now for the stuff you want to do because there's a lot of businesses that will be sending you money. Long as it's under 5 G's, you'd be surprised to support
mm,
that.
we'll have to talk about that. You got the info. Saul wants to share with the community one of his clients is going through it. A lead gen company is stealing his leads and selling it to another service company, and they're helping him now, but be careful. Call your phone number, make sure it is going to you and no one else. Maybe the reason why you're slow, someone could be stealing their leads. Ooh, that sucks. Uh, solid stepper. Miss,
What
Miss
up? What
Ward's
up?
people. Everybody's welcome here.
Exactly.
Miss Ward. If you don't know and you want more of Miss Ward, you can go to Solid Steps for Wealth or to Wealth on YouTube and you'll get more of this. And she just comes off the dome in random places in the country and just says, "Hey, I need to tell you something. Get up off your butt and do it, and get you the kick in the pants you need." So check that out. Bob says, EJ, you have a real talent in this thing. You've been doing this in Service Alliance. You gave a gift for mentorship, much like Dean Landers. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Uh,
That's what an honor to hear that, man. To be mentioned with Dean Landers. Uh, appreciate it. I'm humbled. Thank you. Uh, Saul, no one can handle Miss Ward. Be careful what you ask for. Amen. I'll tell you, Miss
that's
Ward.
my guy.
I've told you before too, but like people get starstruck sometimes, right? You ever meet people and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you on YouTube," and I was nervous to meet TK, and then I saw Miss Ward, and I'm like, I wanted to call because I didn't know you yet, and you was talking about the coaching links. I'm like, man, I I really want, but then you're like, don't come at me half stepping, and you weren't even talking to me, but I was like, ugh, I ain't ready. I ain't ready. I'm not worthy. But
Yeah, man. That's so
now to
funny.
know you, and just have random phone calls every now and again. It's an honor to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Greg B's in the house.
Yeah, well,
What's
you know
going
how it
on?
is, y'all. You know how it is. I'm just real straight, no chaser, because what I found is I was just talking to someone the other day about these tire kickers. Like, don't come if you don't have skin in the game and you have, like, I refuse to coach people who are not already in business. Like, I have a link for people who are not in business. Hey, you right about that Capricorn.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you. If I was a guy, this is a certain channel. I can't say what I could say. I have that big blank energy. But anyway, but anyway, I'm very big about the fact that most people have paralysis analysis. They will waste your time and they will ask questions when they're not going to do anything. And I mean, look, I was in a six-figure job for many years in corporate America, doing very much, very similar to what I do in my own business. And I could have been out here 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I was so busy making millions for other people, you know. And then when I started looking at stepping away, I was the same way. I was buying courses, I was getting consults, but I wasn't making moves. And it's not until you get out here and make the move. You can't make people get out here. And so I'm
Hmm.
very straight to the point about coaching because I'm a rough coach. I'm not for everybody. And that's why I'll do intakes and I'll be like, I'll just refund people and be like, I'll refer them to someone else simply because I'm gonna hurt your feelings. I'm gonna pick up where your mama left off because the only reason you're coming to me is because I need to shake you to your core. You know
Hmm.
you can do this, but I'm not only gonna shake you to your core. I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna keep my foot on your neck because you're an extension of me. If you're lucky
Amen.
enough to get in, that's just real. That's why the Service Alliance group and all that stuff is great. It's nice. They can coddle y'all and all that good stuff, and that is the team for you. But I'm the roughneck, because I understand what it takes to make it in business. And I understand that as Americans, we're really soft. I love us. I don't want to be in any other country. But I know we over here rolling around with first world problems when we really need to get out here and understand where we are and take advantage of every opportunity to be a business owner, to be successful, and to take care of other Americans. Like, this is real world. But you need
Yeah.
to, you got to you need to stick your chest out and do it. Don't come out here and play with it. All right, I'm done. You got me started.
You know, uh, to translate for the people that uh, don't hear it when it comes with that tone, because I've been seeing these T-shirts on Facebook. I got a swirl going on right now. It says half hood, half holy. Like there's a
Yeah, I
little
love
hood,
that.
there's a little hood in me. So I get it and I can take it. Yeah, it says half hood, half holy. Pray with me, don't play with me. Like, man, I gotta have that shirt. Uh, but anyways, there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you this is real easy. Hey, it's fun, it's easy, you should do it, and it's not for everybody. Okay, this is the kinder, gentler version, the I love you version, and I'm going to hurt your feelings, but I'll do it in a nice way. Uh, so you need to really know your why because some days it's hard to wake up. It's hard to get out of the bed and get up and do it. And every day you got to have that why in you because the pay is not always great. The hours aren't always great. The people ain't always nice, uh, but it's rewarding. If you put the work in and actually do it and you find some success, oh man, it's great. You get that energy from winning. And there's times where I have to just tell myself I'm winning when everything around me says I'm losing. Like I'm going to win today. And you got to come with that energy. And if you think this is a get rich quick, an easy thing to do, we're out here hustling every day. It's hard. We can help you, Miss Ward, Service Alliance Group. there's others out there. We can help you make it easier and show you some of the mistakes we made. Because when we help people, it's not because we did it perfect. I struggle daily. Like it's hard. And the bigger you get, the more things that you have to pay attention to, and the more people you got to trust but verify. So don't jump into this
Facts.
thinking you're going to take a week long class or whatever, and you're going to get it. You got to be able to work and do it
Exactly.
all. Plumber payday. It's the first time I've seen this one. Thanks for joining us. Said thanks for your insight. True definition of half hood, half holy. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Definitely been a roller coaster ride for Greg B. I'll tell you, I've been watching Greg. I've been watching him. He's getting there and doing some big things. And we're all going to be sitting at the top one day. All the ones that's
yeah.
hustled and worked hard, done the things.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think the biggest thing people run into in appliance repair is they get in, they do a couple of door switches, and they think they did it. A couple of ice makers, they think they in. And the key is that in any business you have to grow your business. And with a lot of my students, a part of their issue is the skill set. You can't like people want to be like Miss Ward in charge of premium, but they don't want to tighten up on their skill set. And you you don't know what skill set you need till you're out here being challenged by having to solve the problems with these appliances. And if you don't have your basics down as far as schematics and understanding refrigeration and what to check and how to check for flow, like you can't get out here and just throw something at the wall and think you're gonna make money. Like I've heard people say things to me like I've never heard anybody talk like you about how I make money in appliance repair. Like I said, my goal is no less than 5,000 a day. And in the next month it's gonna be about 7,500. Do I do 5,000 a day? Absolutely not. But I realize if I get close to that on a daily basis, I'm blowing it out the water.
yeah,
And there's people I've had to stand statements to because they ain't believe me and then they shut up. But the point is, I come from a world where I understand key performance indicators. I understand reports, I understand ticket average, and I run my business on ticket average because I understand that I'm not going to be trading time for dollars like that. Like you have to have systems, but you can't get to those levels if you patching stuff. And I think the disservice with appliance repair is that people sell it like you can go throw an igniter in and a $3 igniter in and charge 250 and you good. I'm never gonna put a $3 igniter in a all I'm thinking is liability. I'm going OEM because I need to have some confidence and then I'm gonna charge accordingly for my expertise and my business expenses.
yep.
But the point is that you talk like that, oh, you're wrong, you're overcharging. Half of the people out here need to stop running act like they running a secondhand situation. If you're going to be a professional, use professional tools. Look, I have 3 gauges. I have a R600 gauge. I have an electronic manifold. I have all that. I spend so much money on quality tools. I have the GE scanner. I have every program I need. Guess who has to pay for that? The clients when I go service them. Like, it's that real all
Amen.
day.
And you step up every time you step up. If that even makes sense. When I started, I was just wearing nice brown jeans and a neon yellow t-shirt with black print. I thought it looked cool, and I showed up in my truck, no letters, nothing, just a tool bag. I didn't have any parts. I learned that I'd started with dryer thermal fuses and thermostats, and then I stepped up to heating elements and door switches, and then I started carrying some stuff for washers, and I was charging $50 to go, and an extra $25 if I had to come back with a part. And I didn't know anything. But if I would have charged $300 for a job, then I don't know if I would have got any of it, because you got to be what you are selling. If you want to sell at professional levels, Dan's got it here. All about perceived value. And that's true. It sounds fake, but it's true. So I never advertise that I'm the best tech. My company is not the best techs in Lexington. I guarantee it. We're good and we're professional, and you can trust us. And that's our brand. Our brand is, when you call us, you're going to know every step of the way what's happening. You're going to feel the professionalism in every interaction. You're going to see it when you show up, and you're going to feel it in the relationship, in the interaction when we're in your home. And if anything goes wrong, you're going to know it, because we come back and we honor it. We guarantee our work. There ain't no charges. I can't stand when people call back and say, well, I bought a new one. I didn't want to pay the service charge again. Who said you was going to have to? you know, no, we stand by our work, and that's what that means. And when I show up in a nice polo and a matching ball cap and a lettered van, they know, hey, this are the people that I thought I was going to get, and that's what I got. And it's perceived value. If you just dress the part, it adds value. You don't even have to know how to fix stuff. You should. You can learn. If you're at that point where you're learning at the very beginning, at least come and look good and be respectful, be professional, treat them right. If you're half hood, half holy, bring the holy part into the house. Leave the hood part in the van, right? It's
Facts.
fine. Uh, I used to have a completely different vocabulary. I promise you. I'm a Navy veteran, uh, and like I said, half hood. Okay, I moved to the country, and that part's getting smaller now. Uh, I learned to talk to different types of people like I belong, and I know you talk about that a lot, Miss Ward. Is you know, if you talk the way you do on your YouTube channel to your customers, you wouldn't have a business, right? But
Exactly.
you turn it on, and that's what we do. You can be you, but be a professional version of you, and then you get the perceived value, and you can charge the real rates.
Exactly.
We're at an hour now. You want to go do something?
Yeah.
Let's go to work. Thank you
Exactly.
guys.
Exactly. It's been great.
You got it linked to your channel, didn't you?
Yep.
That's what the little link icon is on this, I think. And
Hmm.
we had two people watching when we was on the Service Alliance group only, but then the Solid Steps to Wealth group came in, and we got up into the 20s. Hey, thank you all for joining us at Service Alliance group as well. And obviously, if you didn't know, now you know. Solid Steps to Wealth on YouTube, and see what you're missing that she cuts out of this one. And hey, that's not a bad idea, Paul. But
Exactly.
some I got to go pay for the barbecue first. Uh, so everybody have a good day, and stay tuned for next week. New schedule. We've kind of been slowly integrating it in. Miss Ward's staying, but moving to Thursdays with TK. And you ain't got rid of me yet, Miss Ward. I'll be back on Thursdays occasionally, just to make sure that you're still being you.
All right now.
We'll see y'all.